The evolution of military technology, ancient to medieval. Imagine, you're facing an army of 10,000 soldiers. Your walls are strong, your men are brave, but the enemy has something you've never seen before, a weapon that will change warfare forever. Throughout history, military innovation hasn't just decided battles, it's reshaped entire civilizations. From the first bronze swords that carved out empires to the mighty trebuchets that brought down castle walls. Today we're exploring humanity's most brilliant and devastating inventions. And stick around, because later I'll show you an ancient superweapon so mysterious, its secrets remained hidden for over 1,000 years. Welcome back to Historical Chronicles. I'm your host. And today we're embarking on an epic journey through humanity's greatest military innovations. From ancient workshops to medieval battlefields, we'll discover how the weapons that won wars also built our modern world. If you're ready for this adventure through time, hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Part 1. The Ancient Foundation, Bronze Age Revolution. Let's travel back to 3300 BC. In workshops across the ancient world, metalworkers made a discovery that would change everything. By mixing copper with tin, they created something revolutionary: bronze. For the first time in history, humans could create metal harder than pure copper and sharp enough to revolutionize warfare. But bronze wasn't just about better weapons. Think about this. To make one bronze sword, you needed tin from Cornwall, copper from Cyprus, and craftsmen skilled enough to combine them. Suddenly, trade routes became military priorities. Cities grew around metalworking centers. A new merchant class emerged. One simple alloy was reshaping society itself. The numbers tell the story. A bronze sword could last through hundreds of battles, while copper weapons might fail after just one or two. Warriors with bronze weapons didn't just have better equipment. They had reliability, confidence, and most importantly, an edge their enemies couldn't match: chariot warfare. But the real revolution came when ancient innovators asked a simple question: why should warriors do all the running? Enter the war chariot, the ancient world's first tank. Imagine the terror of facing these weapons for the first time, a platform moving faster than any human could run, carrying archers who could strike and vanish like lightning. The cost of a single chariot equaled that of several houses. Teams of horses required constant training. Specialist drivers and archers needed years of practice, but the investment paid off spectacularly. At the Battle of Kadesh in 1274 BC, Rameses II's chariots turned what should have been a devastating defeat into history's first recorded military stalemate. The chariot didn't just change warfare, it created the world's first professional soldiers. Maintaining these expensive weapons became the foundation of the earliest military-industrial complexes, the Iron Age disruption. But bronze had a critical weakness: it was expensive, really expensive. Then, around 1200 BC, something changed everything. Iron. Cheaper to produce, widely available, and ultimately stronger than bronze, iron democratized warfare. Suddenly, armies could field thousands of soldiers with metal weapons, not just hundreds. The impact was revolutionary. In Bronze Age battles, maybe 10% of soldiers had metal weapons. Within a few centuries of iron's arrival, that number jumped to over 50%. Armies grew from thousands to tens of thousands. The age of mass warfare had begun. Iron's spread reshaped society itself. While bronze required specialized trade networks, iron could be produced locally. Every village could have its blacksmith. Every kingdom could arm its soldiers. The playing field of power had been leveled, though it would soon tilt again. Part 2. Classical Innovations. Greek Engineering. The Greeks didn't just give us democracy and philosophy, they revolutionized siege warfare. Imagine you're defending a city in 399 BC. For centuries, walls have kept you safe. Then you hear a new sound, the deep twang of torsion springs. The Greeks had invented the first true artillery, the catapult. Using mathematical principles we still teach today, Greek engineers discovered that twisted ropes could store enormous energy. Their torsion catapults could hurl 25-pound stones over 200 yards. City walls that had stood for centuries became vulnerable overnight. But the catapult's real impact went far beyond warfare. To build these machines, Greeks needed precise mathematics, standardized measurements, and advanced engineering. The same principles that powered their weapons ended up advancing architecture, construction, and civil engineering. War machines were becoming drivers of progress. Roman military engineering. But it was Rome that turned military engineering into an art form. The Romans understood something profound. Winning battles means nothing if you can't control territory. Their solution: build everything. The numbers are staggering. 250,000 miles of roads, 11 aqueducts serving Rome alone, bridges that still stand after 2,000 years. Every Roman legion included specialized engineering units. They could build a fortified camp for 40,000 men in a single afternoon. A permanent bridge across the Rhine? 2 weeks. Roman sieges combined all their engineering knowledge. They didn't just attack walls, they built walls around the walls they were attacking. At Alesia, Caesar's men built 24 miles of fortifications. Twice. One ring to trap their enemies, one to protect themselves from reinforcements. It wasn't just warfare anymore. It was engineering on an industrial scale. Part 3. Medieval Revolution. The Stirrup Revolution. Sometimes the smallest innovations have the biggest impacts. Around 500 AD, a simple piece of metal revolutionized warfare. The stirrup. Before stirrups, mounted warriors had 2 options: fall off or hold on tight. After stirrups, they became living tanks. Stirrups transformed riders into stable weapons platforms. A charging knight could deliver the full combined force of horse and rider through a single point, their lance. The impact force could exceed 1,000 pounds per square inch. Nothing on a battlefield could withstand a massed cavalry charge. This simple invention helped create feudalism itself. Maintaining an armored knight and warhorse cost as much as 40 peasant families could produce in a year. A new military elite emerged, one that would dominate Europe for centuries. Castle evolution. Every advance in weapons led to stronger defenses. As siege weapons evolved, so did castles. Early medieval castles were basically wooden forts on hills. By the 1200s, they were engineering marvels combining military science, architecture, and psychology. Take the concept of concentric castles. Multiple rings of walls, each higher than the last, meant attackers faced a terrible choice: expose their backs to defenders above and behind them, or try to capture every wall simultaneously. Even the spiral staircases were weapons. They always turned clockwise, giving defenders more room to swing swords while attackers had to fight from awkward angles. These weren't just fortresses. They were the medieval equivalent of nuclear deterrence. The mere existence of a strong castle could prevent war. Building one demonstrated power, wealth, and technological sophistication. They became symbols of authority that shaped medieval society. The Trebuchet era. Now we reach what might be medieval engineering's greatest achievement: the trebuchet. Forget everything you know about catapults. Trebuchets were different. Using counterweights instead of tension, they could launch projectiles weighing hundreds of pounds over castle walls with surprising accuracy. The physics are beautiful. A dropping counterweight converts potential energy into kinetic energy, multiplied through a lever arm. The biggest trebuchets could hurl 300-pound stones over 300 yards. They could even throw multiple projectiles simultaneously. Yes, including livestock, though that was more about psychological warfare than military effectiveness. But trebuchets' greatest impact wasn't destruction, it was innovation. Building them advanced understanding of physics, mathematics, and engineering. The same principles later helped build cathedrals and bridges. War machines were becoming catalysts for scientific understanding, civilizational impact. Looking back, we see a clear pattern. Military technology didn't just change warfare, it transformed civilization itself. Bronze weapons created trade networks that connected continents. Iron democratized power. Roman engineering techniques still influence our architecture. Medieval castles shaped social hierarchies that echo in our cultures today. But perhaps most importantly, military innovation drove human understanding forward. The need for better weapons advanced mathematics, engineering, metallurgy, and physics. The machines designed for destruction ended up building much of our world. Today's military technology still drives innovation. The internet, GPS, and even your microwave oven have military origins. The pattern continues. Human conflict, pushing human progress. From bronze swords to flying trebuchets, we've seen how military technology shaped our world. But I'm curious, which of these innovations do you think had the biggest impact on civilization? Let me know in the comments below. In the next video, we'll explore how these medieval innovations led to the gunpowder revolution that changed everything. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss it. Until then, keep exploring history.